Welcome to Good Vibes Presents Solutions. We have our special guest, Verona Spence-Adofo, who is co-director of Ancestral Voices, Films and Books. Welcome.
Hi.
This is episode 5, Ancestral Voices. We welcome you to share your comments, questions, and the video throughout. And here we go. I'm going to be off screen so we can leave the beautiful lady to be talking. Enjoy. Verona.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Welcome, sis. And wanted just for you to tell us, please, tell us about your vision and how you brought it to life.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Ancestral Voices is a series of documentaries that has been produced by myself and my husband, Dalian. We started our journey in 2010. That's when we first started making the film. And our reasons for doing so is we felt that there wasn't much information available on the subject, and we both had found that we were naturally led down that path of learning about our ancestors and the spiritual teachings. And what we found is it was really hard to find people to even have a conversation with. Most people just assumed that you were negative into witchcraft, evil, whatever. But we came into information that proved that, hold on, this is completely different. It's actually very enlightening. There's information there that brings a deeper connection to your whole existence of even being born. Information that explains your relationship with nature. It really impacts your whole world view. And so we were like, okay, we've definitely got to spread this information as much as we can. And so that's where the idea to do Ancestral Voices was born.
So let's change the camera. And what's been the biggest challenge bringing this to life?
Okay, well, the biggest challenge by far has definitely been, there's actually going to be two. It will be financial and time. And financially, yes, we've invested so much of our money in doing this. The first film we funded completely independently, purely because we thought that a lot of people do not even want to have this conversation. So we're going to just do it ourselves and create a platform for people to speak. And that's what the first film did. It opened up the conversation. The second, when I say time, is when we first started the film, we just started seeing each other quite recently. We had no children, so, young, free, single type thing. And now, obviously, we're in a situation where we're trying to juggle a family, trying to juggle filmmaking, as well as bring something to life that requires a lot of research and time. So they definitely have been our biggest challenges going forward. But, we persevere because it's something that we feel very passionate about and something that we definitely feel the need to see through to the end.
Did you set out to challenge the status quo in terms of spirituality, faith, all these massive pillars of society?
Yeah. We definitely felt the need to challenge the status quo of society. I mean, when we first started, we utilized the internet quite well, particularly on our Facebook page. Anyone who hasn't been, go check it out, Ancestral Voices, Esoteric African Knowledge. So from the very beginning, we were always sharing information, also thought-provoking posts, and sometimes some controversial ones as well. But all of that was to generate debate, get people thinking. We've been conditioned for so long to perceive these traditions as evil, backwards, and primitive. So we felt it highly necessary to kind of draw light to that and say, well, hold on, if we're going to say this is evil, why are we not looking at this other particular tradition that has the exact same principles and philosophies going on, but we don't see it as negative? For example, I would argue that Hinduism is probably the most closest spiritual teaching to African spirituality, but Hinduism is not labeled with the same negativity and stigma that African spirituality is. And I think that by drawing these parallels, we are forced to question ourselves and forced to recognize, well, why is this being deemed negative? So yes, we definitely have gone out of our way to challenge the status quo, and particularly deal with why anything particularly African is always deemed as negative and evil, whereas other people aren't labeled that way. So we through our work, we have made a strong effort to kind of say, well, no, let's start looking at the facts and not dealing with the stigma and all the stereotypes and the conditional teachings that have gone on through the educational system and the media. Let's actually deal with the real information. So yeah, we definitely incorporate that in our work.
And speaking of work, can you describe to viewers how, because you're a multifaceted lady, the challenges of being a filmmaker, a wife, a mother, obviously rewarding, but challenges as well.
Yeah, I would say it is hard. It's a juggling act. It's wonderful and it's fun, but it's obviously not always going to be that. So you're constantly trying to juggle everything. So people probably wondering, oh, why don't we see Verona? We always see Dalian, and it's because, well, number one, normally one of us has to kind of do one thing. Someone is at home with the children. Dalian is excellent at doing the whole academic teaching, and his retention of the knowledge that we've come into over the last 7 years is phenomenal. So it does actually make sense for him to do it while I'm at home with the children. But equally, I still do come out and do speaking engagements as well at time to time. So we're constantly finding ways on how we can balance to make sure that the children still get the time that they need, and we also still get to promote the work. But in terms of filmmaking, when we first started, I was like, yay. And most people don't realize that when we even released Ancestral Voices, we also released another film that year called Portobello, which is a documentary that's online. And at that point, I was really kind of getting into my filmmaking groove, and I was like, yeah, you're going to do more. But equally, children do change your life, and they are rewarding and they are wonderful, but it does mean that you kind of have to change how you operate. So I kind of taken a step back in that sense, but obviously still very much still involved because the Ancestral Voices project is still going on. I must admit, I didn't think it would take us this long to get part 2 complete, but I think that was kind of my creative naivety at the time, not seeing how much of a big project this actually really is, and it has taken us a very long time to get it there, but we're almost there. So juggling filming, family life, everything is definitely hard, but once the project is done, I think I will take a nice break. But then also, I think that, I still do have ideas in my mind of things that I would like to do film-wise. So these are all things that will come out over time. But for now, our focus is definitely to complete this film.
Well, it sounds like it's been such a labour of love and a rewarding one, and it's massively popular. Yeah. So I wanted to find out, this is Solutions, it's a platform.
Yeah.
So I need you to be reaching out, and how can people connect with you guys? Yeah. The links, tell us about the different films, the books, any other type of platforms.
Okay, so let me just give you an overview. So Ancestral Voices 1 is our first film, which we started filming in 2010, released in 2011. And that's a film that generally opens up a conversation of debate about African spirituality, why it's perceived negatively, what it actually entails, where do these negative perceptions come from, i.e. media, education, other religions. And that film speaks with various different people, practitioners and non-practitioners, getting their viewpoint on the subject, and generally creates the opening conversation that I feel we as a people need to have. The second film, which is what's currently in production, is Ancestral Voices 2, which goes way deeper into the subject, covering the philosophies, as well as speaking about the shared commonalities that exist across the continent. So over the time, we've been told that, Africans, they believe in all different things and blah, 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 whereas our research has found, no, you will find there's different creative and cultural expressions, but at core, the belief systems are shared and have a lot of similar stems. So you can see they have the same core beliefs. And so this film, also what we found is learning about philosophy is one thing, but as a people, we are practical people. So there's a section in a film that is about rituals, for those who really would like to apply these teachings in their lives. As Ancestral Voices 2 is not released, we actually released Rituals for Living as well, which is the rituals section, which is available also on our website. And Dalian also wrote a book Just like we weren't busy enough, he kind of slipped a book in there as well. And the book is basically all the information we've come across in the last 7 years. It was too much to condense in one movie, so you can find extra information in the book. All of these products can be found on our website, ancestralvoices.co.uk. If you go to the films and books page, all of these products will be listed. So once again, that's Ancestral Voices 1, which is the opening introduction conversation. There's Ancestral Voices 2, which is currently still in post-production, but we're almost getting there. And you can please donate still. We still do need help completing the project. You can do that also on our website. Then there's Rituals for Living. If you generally just want information on rituals, on how you can increase your life, increase your spiritual connection, or if you want to help do some cleansing and clearing on yourself, there's some very useful rituals there. And last but not least, the book, which is a very comprehensive book covering a range of traditions across the continent, showing that even if you have no direct connection to the continent, like myself, I'm from Jamaica, but it doesn't matter because we are connected. It's all in your DNA. This book will help you greatly because it will enable you to get access to information that you weren't previously privy to. So all of that can be found on our website, ancestralvoices.co.uk. Meanwhile, even though we're going to come offline soon, the conversation still continues. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section below, and I'll be able to get back to you.
And also, because what Sis doesn't know is that she's just sparked so many questions. So now, but my main thing is that what I want to know is, what's your belief system? Do you have a belief? And if yes, has that changed after you started this film journey? Because, for example, I believe in the Almighty, but I don't believe in religion. I don't think, but at the same time, you guys have given me answers to questions I've had since I was very young. Making the complex simple, inspiring research. So I wanted to know, thank you, first of all, to you and Dalian.
You're welcome.
And people buy the video, buy the film, support, please. But please, how has it changed, if anything, for you?
I don't think my spiritual beliefs have changed since the film as such, but more beforehand. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I started a journey of questioning, wanting to know a lot more about my ancestral heritage, particularly on the spiritual side. And I felt that when I asked family members or friends, I weren't getting the answers that I needed. I felt that I was dismissed or shut down or just told that I shouldn't worry about that, I shouldn't talk about that. And so I found great help by being given good advice by a friend of mine who said, call on your ancestors. And at the time I was like, what does that mean? What do you call on my ancestors? How am I going to do that? And then I did it. One day I was just like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm very aware that I need something. There's something missing within myself. I felt like, I'm not happy with mainstream religions. I was raised in a Christian home, but we didn't go to church. It was quite a relaxed environment, I guess. My dad was atheist, so it wasn't really something that was pushed on me. I went through a long time of not believing in anything. And then after time went on, I kind of started to crave something. And when I was given that key information of calling on my ancestors, I did it. And at first, nothing really happened, but I prayed and I said, I'm sorry, I'm coming here with an open heart, and I haven't been given this information. I didn't know that I was supposed to communicate with you. And I said, I just ask that you help and guide me. And then I started to get coincidences in my life. I started to get, what they call synchronicities. I would start seeing the number 11 all the time. I would start seeing insects, which I kind of knew. It sounds like crazy. Most people think it's crazy, but sometimes you'll see a particular animal or insect, and you know that there's a message that the animal passes on to you. So, for example, I remember there was one point where I was living in a flat with closed windows, and there were ladybirds in the room all the time. And it's like, well, where are these ladybirds coming from? If you go and look up ladybird symbolism, they mean good luck and fertility. I was 8 months pregnant at the time, filming Ancestral Voices, by the way. So it shows that once you start opening up this realm or your connection with the ancestors, it opens up a different reality for you. And so how I would describe my beliefs now is definitely African spiritual centered. But I would even take it further and say African spiritual wisdom is actually universal wisdom. And it's just about being able to acknowledge my own connection to my wider environment. So how would I define my spiritual self? I would say that, I'm just open spiritually. I feel like nothing is possible without my ancestors. I feel like their relationship with me is extremely important. And I'm also very connected to nature and the various different aspects of nature and how they also come into my life at various points of time to teach me as well. So that's how I would define myself. I don't say that I'm necessarily a follower of Ifa or the Can tradition or anything like that. I would just say that it's an amalgamation of everything. I take information in all its forms and I don't openly dismiss things.
Perfect. I just wanted to say thank you. People, go and buy, go and reach, discuss, ask questions, challenge. Thank you. Go buy Ancestral Voices, go and see it and engage.
Thank you, Goodbyes, for giving me the platform. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed the show.
You are very, very welcome. Peace, people. Peace. Be good to each other, I beg. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.